Welcome back to Night Shift with Justin S. King, how to transform your life one night at a time. Tonight, I want to share a framework called The Code. I first learned this as part of studying with a men's group called Wake Up Warrior, which I happen to be a certified trainer of, and I was reviewing some of the materials today. And I thought that this idea ties in very well with yesterday's episode. So the core part of what Wake Up Warrior calls the code involves 4 different principles. And it's a simple framework that you can use for evaluating an event and specifically your life for creating real transformation, not just change, but completely transforming yourself. Without the foundation of the code, strategies and tactics to transform your life fall apart and you just find yourself repeating cycles. The key concept of the code is that the facts will set you free. When you live in truth, you gain power. But when you lie to yourself or pretend things are better than they are, you lose power. If you don't have what you want in one area of your life, it is because you are leaking power in that area somewhere along the line. And this code will help you plug that. In Warrior, we use this specifically in something called fact maps or weekly reviews, but it can also be applied in evening routines and as an end-of-day evaluation. The purpose is to destroy the illusions and to get to reality. So here are the 4 principles of the code. First is facts, real facts. You want to ask yourself what actually happened. What is the truth? What are the facts without emotions or stories tied to them? Breakthrough begins with reality. Your interpretation of what happened can change, but the facts do not change. For example, a husband may rate his marriage an 8 out of 10, while his wife rates it a 2. His perception does not erase her reality. So until people admit the real facts of their situation, they cannot change their lives. So at the end of the day, make a list of the actual facts of the thing you are wanting to change. Ask yourself what happened. What are the measurable results you are currently getting in that situation? No story, just the facts. The second principle in the code is raw feelings. Once your facts are clear, the next question is, how do you feel about those facts? Most people suppress their emotions or hide them behind logic, but suppressing emotion creates internal conflict. So owning your feelings creates power. For example, someone whose business is struggling may avoid the truth that they feel weak, ashamed, or insecure. Instead, they cover it up with blame or bravado and say that everything is fine. Your feelings don't have to be logical, but they do have to be acknowledged. So once you've acknowledged the facts, ask yourself, how do I actually feel about what happened or about this situation? The third principle in the code is relevant focus. This primarily is, what has your focus been on? What were you focusing on that got you these results? And the next question you're going to ask is, what do I want next? Many people are very clear about what they don't want. They don't want to be broke. They don't want a failing relationship. But transformation requires a clear target. For example, saying you don't want to be broke means nothing. Do you want $250,000 a year, $1 million a year, 10 million? Powerful people are clear about what they want next. And without focus, people stay stuck in frustration. The 4th step or the 4th principle in the code is result-driven fruit. The final step, you're going to ask and you're going to look for, what is the measurable result that will prove I changed? Desire without action is delusion. If someone says they want a stronger marriage, what proves it? More date nights, more intimacy, less fighting. Growth must produce measurable fruit, numbers, actions, outcomes. Otherwise, change is just an idea. So you can use the code in 2 different ways. Real, raw, relevant results, facts, feelings, focus, and fruit, where you can use it to analyze your current situation and you can use it to analyze the situation that you want to be experiencing. So a simple way to use it at the end of your day or during a weekly planning session is run yourself through these 4 questions. What are the real facts? What actually happened? What are my current results? What are my raw feelings about those results? How do you feel about those facts? What is your relevant focus? Where has your focus been? And what do I want next? And fourth, what is the result-driven fruit? What measurable action will prove that you truly transformed? This framework forces honesty. Honesty is where power begins and where the leaks begin to be plugged. The biggest barrier, according to Warrior, that keeps us stuck is the lies that we tell yourself. We've covered this before, where you can start by applying the code tonight by asking yourself, what is the biggest lie you are telling yourself? Because the truth will set you free. That's it for tonight's episode of Night Shift. If you'd like to learn more about using the code and applying it to your life, feel free to reach out to me at justinSking.com. My name is Justin S. King, and I help entrepreneurs find peace tonight, tomorrow, and for the rest of their lives through sleep optimization, emotion regulation, and discovering their purpose. Good night.